Governor Roberts held 2 press conferences in May detailing plans for what she called no more business as usual in state government. The first announcement came prior to the May revenue forecast, when it was clear the state would likely be receiving more tax dollars than originally anticipated. Roberts said don't expect all of that money spent.
We are not going to do business as usual in state government. We proved that in the budget. I think we're proving it by saying more money needs to go into the Prudent Person Fund. We're proving it by looking at those management and state employees' positions, and you will see a number of factors over the next few weeks showing that we're not going to do business as we've generally done it. I think if we don't do that, we cannot build Oregonians' confidence in their state government and in their public officials, and if we can't do that, they're not going to do tax overhaul with us.
Instead, she offered up a 3-point plan.
Instead of spending all of the money in the May review, I want to build a rainy day fund. If next week's forecast projections project enough revenue, I will call on the legislature to hold a $200 million ending balance in the 1991-93 budget. State government could not touch that money without a special session of the legislature. It would be there only for the most pressing emergency need. Second, I will freeze the number of state managers. We now have an unusual opportunity to examine the mission of state government. The legislature is currently scrutinizing state programs and examining all expenses. That level of scrutiny and more will continue after the legislature adjourns. Under a thorough review, we will shape a government that meets critical needs and that uses every dollar and every state employee and worker as efficiently as possible. During this 2-year budget period, I will not approve agency proposals to create new management positions. Finally, our concerns for using every worker more efficiently must go beyond the management jobs. We must also be wary of adding new positions to the entire state workforce. We may well emerge from the legislative session with a package that encourages up to 3,500 state workers to retire. This will create vacancies throughout state government. When those jobs are open, I don't want to continue business as usual and simply plug another worker into every one of those slots. During the next budget cycle, I will not allow administrators to automatically replace workers who leave. I will require strong justification and a case-by-case review of each of those positions. We will replace a retiring nurse at Fairview? Probably so. Will we replace a retiring mid-manager? I doubt it.
She said Oregonians should welcome the news that the economy is healthier here than in much of the rest of the country.
I mean, they're happy that the economy is healthy. That should be the best news we can have in Oregon, that the economy is so healthy that more money is coming in than we had planned on. That new estimate should be very good for Oregonians, and they should feel good about it. But I don't think they'd feel good if that money came in and we spend every last dime of it, because we don't know what the national economy and what Oregon's economy is going to do over this 2-year period. So I think if we want to make Oregonians feel that it's time to reevaluate and overhaul our tax structure, they've got to feel good about how we do government and how we spend their money when we have it.
A week later, the governor announced setting up an outside task force to review state government. Again, she emphasized the need for government to look ahead.
I am convinced that your state government has done a good job in the past and that state workers continue to do a good job. But that doesn't mean that we should be complacent. Just because our government programs and our government structure met the challenges of the past does not mean that they are ready to take on the future. What worked for business and for government in the 1960s and the 1970s and the 1980s isn't adequate today.
Roberts said the 13-member task force would begin meeting in June. She said it will look at agencies, boards, and commissions and other structures of state government.
I am asking the task force to review the systems that state operation depends on, the central government functions that underlie the services that we provide to the public. We spend millions of dollars on these support functions, such as our computer network and our accounting systems and our motor pool and our personnel systems. Many of these systems are centralized in either the Executive Department or the General Services Department, but there are other responsibilities that rest with individual agencies. The task force will assess those systems and make suggestions to improve their operations. Second, the task force will take a look at government structure, and it will ask some tough questions. Are all of these government agencies necessary? Can we eliminate or restructure the program or the service? Could we merge programs to streamline our agencies? Could we eliminate a board or a commission?
The governor said she'll ask agencies to prioritize programs and needs to give the task force a head start.
This is a huge task. It has never been done in Oregon before. We need to do it, and we need to do it well. I know there may be those who feel threatened or uneasy, but this is a unique opportunity to make a lasting difference in our state government. I will be accountable to all Oregonians for the task force's results.
A preliminary report is due from the group in December, with its final report coming next June. In Salem, Trish Nyworth, Communications and Public Information.